share this recording with those folks
Yeah.
who are gonna ask us.
For sure. And that has been a misconception. And so USA Volleyball, being the national governing body of the sport in the United States, is bound by the United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee to certain standards. So USA Volleyball, as the governing body, has certain, we call them disqualifiers. And so USA Volleyball disqualifiers, to my knowledge, from what I know now, USA Volleyball has the highest disqualifiers in the sport. So that means the highest level of protection of people. If you do X, Y, Z, you cannot be a part of USA Volleyball. And so other entities, may have lower disqualifiers. I don't know if they have matched USA Volleyball. And so to ensure basically the sanctity of the background screening and the validity that it's a high standard, USA Volleyball only accepts USA Volleyball background screens. There was some information out that says, well, USA Volleyball is not sharing their background screen information with name a third party. That's not functionally possible. USA Volleyball information, USA Volleyball takes data security very, very, very seriously. And all of that information is basically in a black box. There's no way out of that black box. I know that if USA Volleyball was like, oh sure, do you want Jen's social security number? I would not be happy with that. And so there is no functional way for USA Volleyball to share background screen information with another entity. And so that's why if you participate with multiple entities, you have to do individual background screens with all of those because the standards are different. And then just the data security and personally identifiable information, just that.
So a question that pertains directly to that just came in. If I'm a club director, which I am, just like you guys, can I purchase a membership for my coach? The answer is yes. Can I do their background screening?
No, please don't.
Okay.
You can have I know a lot of clubs do, they have meetings, and the club will have a laptop or two out, and go around and put their credit card information to pay for it, but the coach submits their own, clicks on the buttons and submits their own social security number and things like that.
Yeah, that was more specifically the question, because you can pay for the membership for them,
Correct, you're not
but you
allowed to.
can't pay for the
Correct,
background
you're
check
not allowed to pay for the
upfront.
background screening anymore just because of the process.
Okay,
And so some clubs either, hey coach, you submit your background screening, I'll reimburse you.
yeah, sure.
Or, hey, we're gonna have a coach meeting, everybody's gonna sit down, I'll come around with my credit card, and let your credit card company know ahead of time, seriously, if you're gonna do that, to be like, hey, why is there $14 charges on my card? Trust me, but I know it's not both ways.
And Kelly had talked about during the tournament director meeting, making sure that you see, if you're at a badge or even USAD event, that the ball is in the upper right corner, people have USAD numbers, it will also show that they have a USAD background screen, safe score, etc. If you have a JDA background screen, that's what we show on our official tournament entry forms or tournament rosters. So you can't have just one, you do have to have them both.
Questions on any of that? Alright, raise your hand if you bothering you, but then we'll take that off, just to make it, the most accurate for the people who are using that.
We will even make special considerations for, clubs and, like there's 2 or 3 that are coming back this year.
Yep.
But they still wanna keep getting Scott's weekly updates. So just communicate, like if you're gonna take next year off, but maybe come back the following year, we are happy to keep you in the loop in other items.
Yep. Certificates of insurance for the upcoming year are not available yet. Generally, that happens closer to September 1st. When they do, they will come from Epic Entertainment. It seems like it's fun, it's insurance certificates. So, you'll then get a link to then download that. You can also, in the information, when you're requesting it, you can put the information, like if it needs to go to a school district or someone specific at the school. I believe you can enter their information and then that certificate will automatically go to them as well. So then you don't have to deal with it, you can just be copied in the event that they need it again. Please, this was notes from Scott. Please make sure that you have membership, the club director, who's ever requesting insurance, membership, background screen, safety report completed, and the club registration form before insurance certificates are requested. So please get all of that done, because then we have to stop, like, we're not allowed to issue certificates until all of that is complete. They just wanna make sure that those who are doing it are actual members who are going to run a club this year. So that's the direction we've been given from Nash.
And that's the same thing with bullet point number 2. Gotta have that stuff in
Yep.
place by October 1st, otherwise you won't be able to access HQ, you won't be able to send club acceptance invite offers to your athletes or coaches, so. October 1st, make sure all your ducks are in a row.
Alright, medical claim forms, these are, and hopefully you don't need them, hopefully everyone stays happy and the injury bug stays away from them. Medical claim forms do come to the office. This goes back to kind of what the club directors were talking about too, make sure that the event that they're submitted for is a USA Volleyball event. I get many incident report forms, for non-USA Volleyball events. And that's why it's important that everybody has a membership and, sometimes it seems like USA Volleyball is so restrictive. Because they're the NGB, they always have a target on their backs, and we as a region also have that. And so they're doing what we can
additional things about age waivers. Before you request, make sure you add them to a roster. I can't manually approve an age waiver if it is approved unless it's on the Sports Engine roster. When you add your waivered player to the roster, it will say not approved in red on the side, and that's ugly. So what ends up happening is if it is approved, and if you're not even sure before you offer this person, please email me and explain to me. And normally, if its level of play is higher than their grade, then that's approved. But sometimes it may come back and say, are there other clubs in the area? I think is there anyone in here that Ida May, are you here? Okay, I've already approved a couple, but if you're not sure, be sure to email me before you give this, child an offer, because we don't wanna discourage kids from playing, but also age waivers are obviously what Jen said, they're not given just if they're offered the wrong team, or if it's a dense population of clubs, we try to encourage them to find someone in their age or at their level of play before we approve. Second thing about age waivers, once they're approved, please read the auto response email I send you. Age waivers are only approved on rosters, and those rosters are approved in Badger region sanctioned or hosted events only. So if it's a JVA event in the state, you have to reach out to those tournament directors to see if they accept age waivers. There are many that do not of AAU and JVA. Qualifiers outside the state, Badger region qualifier, I believe, does not as well, so no qualifiers. So in my auto response on an age waiver, it will state all of these things, that this is normally for region-only events, that'll be approved. Anything outside the region, they will either A, not be allowed, or you're gonna have to reach out to those third-party directors yourself. Okay, does that make sense?
And really, the saddest one happened last year.
Yeah.
When a Wisconsin team was at the big St. Louis President's Day girls event, and the girls 12s team had a boy on it, and that boy could not play.
Yeah.
I got the tearful phone call from mom saying, what the hell is this? The club director also called me, what the hell is this? And I was like.
And then I called that tournament director and said, what the hell is this?
Well, and that's why I need the age waiver for the boys too. Because with the age waiver for the boys, even though they're not necessarily playing up, it gives you that auto response of how and what tournaments they can play in, what you guys need to double check as club directors. And it helps me, so if a parent reaches out to anyone from staff saying, we played this boy in a girls tournament and he did this, then I can go back and see if it was approved and have our backing before we respond.
USAD Academy, that's where all of the coaching modules happen, the officiating modules. We encourage, and this, we know it's just one more thing, but we encourage the coaches to take some of the beginner officiating modules, just so they're aware, especially with the rule changes and all the things coming up. And then Alex and Jackie are gonna do more social media education on, ball handling rules that we're gonna get into, things like that. And so as much as we can educate parents, we will certainly attempt to do our best with that.
Going back to age waivers really quick, boys on girls teams, if it is a boy on a girls team, that boy can play, if he's 12, he can play on the 12s, okay? If he's 13, he can play on the 13s. At 12s, a boys team can play girls 12s. If there's a boys 13s team, they have to go 14s. If there's a boys 14s team, they have to go girls 15s. Okay, so that's where the kind of, factoring into the maturity of boys plays in. If you guys have thoughts on that policy, that is a board level decision here in Badger Region. But we've seen, and Kelly, who's run hundreds of thousands of tournaments in his day, boys 12s are not beating any girls 12s unless these are like really, really low level girls 12. I can say that because I was a boys 12s coach this past year, and we didn't do too well in girls 12s tournaments. It's the coaching, I believe that. But as soon as 13s hit, they gotta play up to 14s, 14s playing 15s, just so that that maturity level is taken into consideration, when it comes to that. Good question to whoever
May I
asked
add
that.
to that? If there is a wavered boy on a girls 14s, does that girls 14s have to play up because they have one 14s boy on it?
It's the whole team.
That's where my brain goes, see,
There is still co-ed volleyball technically in the state of Wisconsin allowed. If you have more boys on the court than girls though, you have to be playing infinite losses.
Perfect.
Just on that, a little bit farther on that one. So if we have a boy on our team, 12, 13, 14, whatever, they need an age waiver automatically?
So we call it an age waiver, but it's just basically a waiver. So yes, submit them for an age waiver.
Okay.
And we'll know, Sarah will know that it's, and you can also send her an email, like, hey, I just submitted an age waiver for a boy.
And that's how I manually approve them as well. So the approval process is the same with age waivers and boys. So you can still add the boy to the girls roster, it will say not approved. And then with the documentation of age and grade, that helps me if questions come into the office.
Got it,
And
thank
they
you.
don't have to play down, like if it's a 13-year-old boy trying to get on a 13-year-old team, that's fine, like they don't have to abide by the grade side of things, it's just the same process.
Got it.
And then you get approval from me once it's added with all of that documentation on what they can and can't do, what you as club director has to do for events and things like that.
Got it, thank you.
And then the last one on this, is just reminding you all when the events open. And so Badger Region Power League events, will open September 15th, 2-day events. So our Badger Region Championships, Dale Roadie Girls Qualifier open October 1st. And then the single-day events hosted within Badger Region USA Volleyball opens at 5 p.m. Central on October 12th. Those dates were altered just to take into account those clubs who participated in the summer tryout opportunity, to balance just competing organizations, when tournaments can fill, things like that. And so if there's a situation where you don't know if you're gonna be able to fill a team, or if you can't pay right away, especially for our Badger Region hosted events, please communicate with that with us. There were some clubs last year who were like, hey, we don't get all of our dues until January. Can we still get into Badger Region events? We said absolutely. Like that's not a problem for us. We can do that, and so we just wanna make that as easy as we can for all.
So when is the 12th, 13th?
Kelly?
Yeah, I think I said 13 before, but it's Sunday night at 5 p.m., which makes it the 12th.
Sunday the 12th, that's fine.
Jeez, Kelly. I mean, come on. Guy that ran hundreds of thousands of tournaments.
We just wanna make
Yeah,
sure.
Obviously, I honestly think that was part of the plan. Kelly was copying very
See, but good job, you were paying attention, so you get a pizza to take home with you.
The Buffalo chicken.
Okay, fun news, don't panic. We were notified last week, the week before, that USA Volleyball will be getting a new membership management system for next year, so Sports Engine will be going away. Exactly.
I'm just trying to see the vibe.